Assalamualaikum and a very good day. We are from Group 9 and in this video we are going to present our TMF1254 group project. My name is Dayang Nur Nazifa and I'm the group leader for this group. This is the member list of Group 9. A little bit of introduction. In this project, our team established best practices in network design by conducting true need assessment, detailed infrastructure planning, and careful hardware selection. We focus on advanced security measures, performance optimization, and cost effectiveness. The resulting network diagram shows a strong and scalable solution that meets current requirements and can easily handle future growth. This is our network diagram for jargon sendirian berhad. After extensive research and a lot of discussion, we have created the best network diagram to optimize office operations. Now, we are going to explain this network diagram in more details.
Hi, I'm Beatrice and Anthony from Group 9, and I would like to talk about essential technical specification. So the first one is the 48 port switch, which is used as a central switch that connect the internet gateway to the Office A, Office B, and the server. It connect the 48 port switch to the Office A, Office B, and server by using shielded category 6A twisted pair cable. So total, it has 48 ports, with a 4 SFP port, which can connect up to 4 fiber optic cable. So it can distribute network traffic to 24 port switches and server at the same time, which is why it is suitable to be used as a central switch. As a central switch, it connects the network in Office A and Office B. It has to efficiently transfer file between these two offices, and since it can distribute network traffic for these 24 port switches and servers simultaneously, it can reduce the network congestion where it won't slow down the other devices, which is useful and effective. Since we have a downlink of 300 megabit per second and uplink of 100 megabit per second, this 48 port switch is suitable as it supports devices with bandwidth of 100 megabit per second and 1000 megabit per second, meaning that it has a high data rates. Finally, it has a LED light for troubleshooting, which it's easier to know if the switch have problem. So the next one is the 24 port switch, where it is used in Office A and Office B. It connects the wireless access point, the computer, and the printers by using the unshielded category 6 twisted pair cable. So the switch has 24 ports total with 2 SFP ports where it can connect up to 2 fiber optic cable. Also, it has a LED light for troubleshooting, and it has less port compared to 48 port switch, and it has less power consumption. And also, it supports the straight through cable, which is used to connect to the different devices, and can support crossover cable, which is used to connect the same or similar devices. Since it can support 10 megabit per second, 100 megabit per second, and 1000 megabit per second Ethernet devices, hence it is suitable to be used as switch, as we have a downlink of 300 megabit per second and uplink of 100 megabit per second, which is more than enough. Also, it supports 1 gigabit per second per port, where it can give a good performance and it can reduce latency, so the devices can transfer a large file to the other network, which is maybe from Office A and Office B, so it won't slow down the activity, and it can connect to multiple devices since you have a 24 port switch. So since we have an open area for mobile employee and a meeting room, we use a wireless access point, which is we decided to use dual band Wi-Fi 5. If the usual Wi-Fi 5, it only operates at 5 GHz, while dual band it operates at 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz. At 2.4 GHz, it has a speed of 450 megabit per second, which it has a good coverage. It ensures that the devices can connect to the router at a far distance, and it supports all device. And also, we have a 5 GHz where it has a speed of 1300 megabit per second. It has a higher speed and less interference. And the reason why the dual band Wi-Fi is also suitable to use is because, let's say we have an old device that does not support the 5 GHz, it can use the 2.4 GHz, where this dual band Wi-Fi 5 ensure that all devices can connect to the Wi-Fi. And also, this wireless access point can support the multi-user, multi-input, and multi-output, where it can connect multiple devices straight to the wireless access point, and it can enhance the bandwidth. So by this, it can enhance the capacity and give a good performance. So now I would like to talk about shielded category 6A twisted pair cable, where in the twisted pair cable, it has 4 pairs of twisted copper wire inside, and it is shielded with the aluminum foil outer layer, and it has a thick copper conductor. Also, it has a frequency of 500 megahertz, and which operate at 100 gigabit per second up to 100 meters, which is suitable to be used to connect the 48 port switch to the Office A, Office B, and the server. Because since it has a frequency of 500 megahertz, which operate at 100 gigabit per second up to 100 meters, it can have a faster data rate and reduced latency to transfer the data between Office A, Office B, and the server, which will make it more efficient and it can reduce latency. This shielded Category 6A twisted pair cable, it has a less interference, less error occur, and better performance since it is shielded, and it can be used for activities like large-scale video streaming and large file transferring since it has a higher speed, and it is cost-effective since compared to using a fiber optic that can have actually have a higher speed compared to category 6A twisted pair cable. But since we use this in the office where the environment has less interference, so category 6A twisted pair cable is enough to be used. So this is cost effective, and the thickness of the wire range from 24 AWG, meaning that the higher the AWG, which is the thickness of the wire, the less the diameter. Other than that, we have unshielded category 6 twisted pair cable that has an improved insulation and tighter wires compared to the previous twisted pair cable, which is category 5E. It has a better performance because it's reduced crosstalk. It has no shielding, but it is suitable to be used in office. It has a less electromagnetic interference, where what it means by have a high interference is like a heavy machine that is used in the industry or the hospital. But since we only use in office, so unshielded twisted pair cable is enough. It has a thick copper conductor cable that can transfer data over a long distance, and it has a frequency of 250 megahertz and operate at 10 gigabit per second up to 55 meters, which is more than enough to be used for the devices in the network, and it can operate up to like 55 meters for 10 gigabit per second. But since we assume that our office is not a large office based on the layout of office, 55 meters is like a small office or medium office, so this unshielded category 6 twisted pair cable is enough to use. And it has a 23 AWG, which means that if the AWG is higher, then it has a smaller diameter. If it has a lower AWG, it has a less attenuation. So this unshielded category 6 twisted pair cable is suitable to be used to connect the 24 port switch in office to the devices that connected on inside the office. So the last one is the hardware firewall, which is a security system in networking where it is connected to the 48 port switch that will give a protection to the devices in Office A and Office B. It is a physical equipment that connected between central switch and internet gateway, and it filter the data going in and out as well as provide the antivirus solution and act as a gatekeeper, meaning that it will analyze the data and block the thread before sending them out, for example, sensitive data. And I would say it is more secure than a software firewall since it is less prone to the cybersecurity attack since it is hardware. And it is working as long as it is turned on compared to software firewall that might disable by its own. So I would say that hardware firewall is more effective and useful.
Moving to the next part, which is justification of inter-office connection. Our choice is to establish star topology within each office. A jargon Centurion Berhad is due to simplicity and ease of management. Then, centralized monitoring and troubleshooting. Next, robustness and reliability. How? Failure of a single cable does not affect the entire network. Next, flexibility for future expansions and movements. Lastly, star topology enhances security through a centralized switch. Now, let's continue with high-speed connectivity. In our network diagram, we use STP, shielded twisted pair, and UTP, unshielded twisted pair cables. Why we use STP cables? It is to prevent electromagnetic interference, EMI, and crosstalk. By using STP cables, it is suitable for high-noise environments. Not to mention, it also maintains data integrity over longer distances. How about UTP cables? UTP cable is known for its cost effectiveness and easy to install. Next, it provides reliable high-speed connectivity. Lastly, UTP cables suitable for typical office environments with low electrical noise. In our network diagram, we separate wireless access point and place them in different locations. This strategy is to enhance coverage and reduce dead zones. Strategically placed wireless access points ensure consistent Wi-Fi coverage, eliminating weak signal areas. Next, load balancing for improved performance. Multiple wireless access points distribute the connection load evenly, maintaining optimal performance. Besides that, stability through multiple wireless access points, ensuring network continuity. Redundant wireless access points maintain network stability even if individual units fail. It also increased capacity for more simultaneous connection. Higher number of wireless access points support more devices, crucial for a multi-device environment. Lastly, easy network expansion to handle future needs. Simple addition of wireless access point allow for network growth to accommodate more users and devices. Now, network redundancy. It is really important to have redundant connection in our network diagram. What is network redundancy? It is a design feature that provides multiple pathways for data to travel in a network. It ensures that if one pathway fails, another can take over without any interruption. One of the benefits is continuous connectivity through primary and standby servers. By having network redundancy, it can reduce downtime and ensure operational efficiency. We have multiple firewalls and dual AD server for reliability in the office. It also can minimize the risk of extended failures. Lastly, it supports uninterrupted access for critical resources. We are certain that centralizing the location of physical firewall provides many benefits. One of it is simplifies network security management. Centralized firewall placement can also provide comprehensive protection with a single firewall. It also reduces time and resources for security installation. Next, it also ensures simultaneous update and real-time protection. Not only that, it also enhances security durability and operational efficiency. Lastly, it also protects server infrastructure from unauthorized access and harmful activities.
Hi, I'm Afrina Hafi. Today, I want to talk about location and performance of network servers. What is Active Directory servers? AD server is developed by Microsoft. It's organized and share resources, ensures security and user details. It also enables authenticated and unauthorized access to device, applications, and systems. What is single sign-on server? Unifies multiple application login interfaces, allows user to log in once to access all applications. Users only need to log in once to access all integrated applications. This streamlines the user experience and eliminates the hassle of remembering multiple credentials. It also enhances user convenience and security. By reducing the number of passwords users need to manage, we decrease the risk of weak password practices. Our system also supports advanced security measures like multi-factor authentication to further protect user account. This provides a seamless experience, allowing users to switch between applications effortlessly. This not only saves time, but also enhances productivity. AD server placement. To begin with, our primary AD server must be located in a secure, stable environment. This typically means housing it in a dedicated server room or a data center. This environment offers control access, ensuring that only authorized personnel can access the hardware. Next, the AD server should have access to the central network infrastructure. This setup ensures that the server can communicate efficiently with other network resources and manage user access and authentication seamlessly. Next, physical protection and redundancy are critical components of our infrastructure. It has cooling system, fire suppression, and power supply. For cooling system, the server room or data center must be equipped with adequate cooling system to maintain optimal operating temperatures and prevent overheating. Fire suppression systems are essential to protect the hardware from potential fire hazards. This could include fire sprinklers or gas-based fire suppression systems. Redundant power supplies and uninterruptible power supplies are necessary to ensure that the server remains operational even during power outage. Backup generators can provide additional redundancy. Lastly, to enhance our infrastructure reliability, we deploy a secondary AD server at a disaster recovery site. This secondary server provides failover capacity in case the primary server fails. The disaster recovery site should be geographically distant from the primary location to ensure resilience against local disasters. SSO server placement. A DMZ or demilitarized zone is a perimeter network that sits between an organization's internal network and the external internet. Placing critical servers like SSO in a DMZ can provide an extra layer of protection against external threats. Positioning the SSO server in a DMZ offers several benefits. It creates a buffer zone that isolates the server from the internal network, while still allowing control access to external resources. This setup is crucial for protecting sensitive data and maintaining network security. The SSO server in the DMZ is isolated from the internal network. This isolation limits the potential damage from any successful attacks, ensuring that even if the SSO server is compromised, the internal network remains secure. To further enhance the security of the SSO server in the DMZ, we implement additional protective measures like firewalls and intrusion detection system, which is IDS. Optimization performance, high-speed networks. Use gigabit networks to reduce latency and optimize data transfer. It will also ensure quick authentication procedures and minimize congestion. Next, load balancing. It prevents server from being overwhelmed by authentication requests. Failover system instantly transfer control to secondary servers if the primary fails. Furthermore, maintenance and updates, regular hardware and software maintenance, and timely updates to counter risk. Lastly, monitoring solution. It recognizes and resolves potential issues before they escalate, alerts for timely IT professional response. So, this is a layout of first floor office. It has server room and the MZ room. AD server is located in server room. It has rear power supply, perfect cooling system, firefighting mechanism, and it's centralized to minimize latency and enhance authentication speed, while SSO server is located in a DMZ room. The DMZ room is separate room or zone within the server area. It's equipped with firewalls, which is multiple layers of firewalls are used to control or monitor traffic between the DMZ, internal network, and the internet. These firewalls enforce strict access control policies, allowing only authorized traffic to reach the end server. And it also has intrusion detection system, which is deployed to monitor network traffic for suspicious activities and potential threats. IDS can detect and alert an abnormal behavior, enabling rapid response to potential attacks. It protects against external threats and prevents unauthorized movement within the company's network. It has three benefits, which is high security, increased productivity, and effective performance. So this figure shows layout of second floor. It is same as first floor, but it has a network operation center. So in this floor, server room and DMZ room contain and secondary AD server and secondary SSO server. For network center, central location to monitor and manage the network includes monitoring for AD and SSO server, its access control and video surveillance for security. It designed to eliminate noise and electromagnetic interference and sufficient fresh air and cooling to regulate server. The benefits for this layout is high security, enhanced physical and cyber protection, centralized management, which is efficient network monitoring and management, and lastly, optimal performance, reliable, uninterrupted server operation.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. My name is Nurza Akila Damia binti Zora from Group 9. I will present of how to control social media access during office hours to be implemented. Our Group 9 will be using firewall. Firewall help protect and secure the network from external threat, enforce organization policies, prevent data leakage, ensuring security, provide efficiency, manage bandwidth, and compliant network environment. How do firewalls control internet access? Firstly, by packet filtering. Determine the packet data by examining the packet header, which include IP address, protocol, and port destination, either to allow or block the data from arrive at network interface and going through the firewall based on predefined rules. Secondly, by URL filtering, a process that restricted a certain website or content by filtering the URL inserted by users against a database that have been blocked or permitted for use. URL will be categorized in a group such as social malware or web. The firewall will determine the URL based on the predefined rule inserted by the administrator. Furthermore, firewall also included a content filtering by inspecting the specific content or website. If there are image or text that was inappropriate to detect and block the malware, the web page will be blocked by the set rules. Content filtering also detect and examine the actual data rather than only analyzing through the surface. By this, content filtering uses a deep packet inspection as a technique to allow hardware to inspect data packet more truthfully. The DPI engine uses a database of known patterns and signatures to identify application, protocol, and potential threats. Besides that, and application controls, a security measure that commonly include in more advanced firewall, which can identify and control any individual application. Besides, the use of the specific application also can be blocked or limited by the administrator. The packet inspection technique was used to identify application by patterns or behavior characteristic of specific application. Lastly, it also let administrator to keep track of application usage pattern and enforce security and compliance policies. File also set the specific time to access specific website or content was allowed or blocked by the set input time by administrator. The file scheduling features are used to set the rules, so worker can't be used the certain website during the office hours. As for user-based rules, the different rules are defined for each different users or group based on the user's identity. Firewalls integrate with users' authentication system such as LDAP, Active Directory, Radius, or Single Sign-On service. Lastly is bandwidth management. By managing and prioritize the usage of the application and limiting bandwidth for non-essential service, help optimizing network performance and able to manage company costs without being overcharges. For the conclusion from our Group 9 is, we strategically selected a star topology for our network, ensuring scalability, flexibility, and cost-effectiveness. Packet filtering firewalls and circuit-level gateway control traffic and enhance security. 455 provide extended wireless connectivity, while a 48-port central switch connected to 24-port switches via CAT, CA, SDP, and UTP cables, ensure robust connectivity. A DMZ isolate public-facing service from the internet network. This combination ensure a robust, scalable, and secure infrastructure from current and future needs.